Hey, everybody, how are we? Let me start by saying that I have no idea if they're going to end up showing this to us or not. But if they did, I definitely wanted to be here for it. So, if they don't, I've got plenty of other stuff for us to look at. There's a couple of stations that were showing the detailed stuff from this trial, and I was kind of hoping that we would be able to get something from them. I've also got a link into the courtroom, like it's not a Zoom, but it's like their online thing. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We're going to see though. Looks like Court TV's got up the Baby Evelyn trial still, and then also ASAP Rocky. So they're not going to be showing it. So I'm going to take it off of there. They could be showing it on their live TV feed, but we're not going to watch that. They interrupt it. So I've got my different things up here. I'm going through it now to see if anybody is live. And I thought what we could do is they had that full hearing. And have we ever watched that? I don't think we did. We didn't watch that full hearing on my channel. This was the evidentiary hearing. They had all of the victims come in and speak, and they presented all the evidence. I think we watched, I know that we watched at least bits and pieces of it, but I don't feel like we watched the entire thing all the way through. Hey, Mark. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Bama, Anna, Route. How we doing this morning? This is the Swan Boat Club. Remember the drunk lady who rammed her car into the boat club and there was a children's birthday party going on? This is the case. So she's doing court right now for what they call a Walker hearing. So let me look really quick at my notes. And again, this is kind of impromptu because I wasn't really sure if they were going to show anything or not. I think the last time we got to see them was after they were in court, and we got to see like bits and pieces of it, but I don't know. I was just kind of thinking they were gonna show it since it's gotten such high profile. Okay, so what is a Walker hearing, you ask? Well, a Walker hearing is a court hearing in Michigan that determines if a defendant's statement to the police was made voluntarily and not knowingly. The hearing is named after the 1965 Michigan Supreme Court case People versus Walker. This hearing takes place before a trial and allows the judge to determine whether a statement was made voluntarily and thus can be used as evidence in the trial or not. The jury can only hear your statement if a Walker hearing determines you made it voluntarily and knowingly. And she did. We've seen this. So I don't know what's going to happen. Starting at 5:40 p.m. What is this? Who just... Oh, that's something else. Sorry. Y'all are having a snowstorm tomorrow? Really? Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. I hope we're done with winter. It's really nice today. I've got the windows open, but that one little snowstorm we had in Alabama, we're not used to that. It shut everything down. I don't like not being able to do what I need to do when I need to do it. I don't like to be put in a box. All right. Bear with me, guys, because I am like I'm trying to talk to you guys, but I'm also trying to like look to see if it's going to pop up anywhere. Huckleberry wants in. My God, y'all, he's driving me crazy. I'll show you guys some courtroom feed while we wait. So let's do that. It's a sad. Never mind, they got hats. Hang on. That's not going to work. Let's watch the family's press conference. I gotta wait for the ad to finish. Okay, here it is. I got it.
ELHATFIELD. I'm a brother, uncle to the two deceased. Yes. This is the family. Can you start by telling us a little bit about LAURAIN? They were full of joy. I mean, they were babies. I mean, what more can you really say? They were babies. They didn't have a life yet. They just was on their adventure to starting life. You know, I personally have not been able to experience their joys due to family, but we are here as one. I'm gonna let the family speak more on that. I'm here on behalf of my brother that's in the hospital, that's still with his child, that's still fighting every day. Um, he has asked that he is allowed the peace and the space to heal and to deal with what has happened, as he's not even truly faced the true battles yet. This family is still in an uproar, as nobody has yet faced the true demon that's still to come. And it's even harder that we're standing less than 100 yards from the person who done it. You know, it's an emotional roller coaster. That being said, knowing that this woman is released, how does that add to all of it? It makes it hard. It makes it hard. I mean, these babies haven't even had a burial, a service yet, and this lady's drinking coffee at home with her family, with her loved ones. And this family's left with questions and feeling as if the system has failed us. I mean, we've heard the seizures in the prelim, and you know, state law requires at least a minimum of 6 months without a seizure. So why was she behind the wheel in the first place? Is it because of her connections? Is it because of her money? You know, we don't know. So we got to wait and let the system do its procedures. We just hope they don't fail us this time, as we've seen numerous.
You know, he said that about her money. I wonder if she did have a lot of money because, well, I guess maybe she lived on the water right there, but her bail was 1.5 mil, and she got out on bail. That's not like, that's a lot of money, you guys. What, even if it's 10% that only 10% that she has to pay, that's still a lot of money. I don't know. I'll continue on.
Drunk drivers walk away with a slap on their wrist after they've killed people. Let's just hope that these two babies' lives are not one of those statistics. Let's hope that we truly get justice for once. You know, I really feel like the system, and our family really feels like the system has failed in multiple occasions before. And we just ask, and we believe we've made some good friends, and we really hope that everything that we're fighting for is going to stick and it's going to stand. And we really appreciate the media's coverage. We really hope it puts the pressure down, and it really hope it brings light to drunk drivers and the effects that it has on more than one life. You don't understand the pain. I personally will never forget the feeling, the cries from a grown man when he finds out his kids have been taken from him. There's not much you can say. You can't say it's going to be okay. Just got to work. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what has been the support from the community been like this week?
It's actually been amazing. The GoFundMe has really took off. It's really going to help the family. The funeral home, there has been a couple of them, I believe, that has offered to do services for us. But like I said, you know, there's not been arrangements made yet. We're still waiting on people to get out of the hospitals and healthy enough to even do anything. But the community service and the community support is really helpful. But again, you know, as my brother's wishes, he does wish to keep his privacy, to keep his peace, and to keep his space at this time. I did talk to him, asked him if he did want to speak and come. He's not ready. When he is, we will let you guys know, and you guys will have your chance. But he just asked to please give him his space and allow him and his family and his child to still heal from what has happened.
What do you want everyone to remember about this?
My name is Nicholas Phillips, NICHOLASPHILLIPS. I'm the uncle and the brother of the family this happened to. Zane, he was still a baby himself. He like sitting on his dad's phone, sitting here playing Roblox and watching Cocomelon. That's what he loved to do. And now that it's taken from him, he's not even going to be able to go to a school like how every child should be. He's not going to get that normal life that every child wants. And Alana, that little princess is never gonna have the joy of going back to her dad's basketball games. That brought that girl so much joy. She used to love just sitting there being next to her dad, talking with her dad. That was her thing. That girl loved her dad. Awesome. Her with school. She's never gonna be able to go to that prom. She's never gonna have that ball. She's never gonna have that wedding that she deserves. How is this fair to her? I don't understand how a justice system can give a woman like that bail. She's 66 years old. Like all of us here that are adults, we read prescription labels. The doctors tell us this. They even tell you this: do not operate a motor vehicle, not alone drink. I'm pretty sure all of y'all are responsible adults. I'm pretty sure all y'all know not to drink, even just a little bit, while taking some prescribed medication. You should not do it. And for that, that caused a lot of damage to my family.
Nicholas, can you walk us through Saturday and just what they were doing right moments before this happened?
From my understanding, they were sitting there about to grab food. They're literally grabbing food, about to sit down at a table when that car did not even hit a brake light, kept going straight and ran right into him. That's not right. They was just trying to eat. They was sitting there about to have cake and ice cream. Had a birthday party. They was at a birthday party and closed doors. Like I told when I was in court, when that defense attorney brought up the highway, that's the complete accident all day. But that right there, that's somewhat deliberate. You cannot tell me otherwise. You can't.
Unless there's anything else that anybody wants to say, we'll let you guys leave. Can you just update us about the child still in the hospital?
Yes. Jaden Phillips is still in the hospital. He is doing so much better, not somewhat better, but still fighting. His leg is still not the same. His face is still all beaten up. It's like looking at a bruised face that's been hit over 1,000,000 times. It's hard to even see him.
What would you guys say to the woman driving the car?
I'm gonna let my brother answer that.
Honestly, we ain't even gonna give her that glory. We ain't even gonna address her. As much as we want to, and as much as we have a lot of things and a lot of emotions and a lot of hatred towards that, I don't even feel like she deserves that. She don't even deserve the acknowledgement of this. So for that, I don't think we need to comment on her. One thing I'm gonna say is I just pray and hope that everything works out in the justice system and they, for once, show justice and don't allow these two names right here to be forgotten. And we also can't forget about the other victims. There were a lot of other victims here, not only that were injured, but there were other people here that was here and experienced a terrible scene. My wife and kids showed up 2 minutes afterwards and for this birthday party. And for my wife to call me and tell me what's going on, she said it was like a Final Destination movie. How do you move past that? How can you forget that? So we just hope that the system does their job, and we thank everybody for their support, and we just ask for peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
We had not watched that yet on my channel, so I wanted to watch that piece while we waited. Still nothing popping up about the trial. Let me see if I can. This is her getting out of the truck, being helped getting it. She didn't even act like she was upset. It was so crazy. So crazy. See something. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get off this feed and we're going to go over to, let's see, which one is it I want to watch? This one. This is the original preliminary hearing.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So we'll watch this while I'm looking for everything.
My name is William Schmidt, WILLIAM,
You may proceed, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Schmidt, where do you reside?
6288 Branshaw.
And where is that located in relationship to the Swan Boat Club?
I am directly next door to the Swan Boat Club on the west side.
Okay. And that's located in Newport, Michigan, County Monroe?
Yes, it is.
Sir, were you home on April 20th of 2024?
Yes, I was.
Did something unusual occur that day?
Yes, I heard a large, what sounded like an explosion at the time.
Okay. You know about what time of day that was?
It was about 2 to 3 in the afternoon.
When you heard that noise, what did you do?
I assumed it was something going into the dumpster at the boat club because they're always throwing something in there, so you hear large bangs. I went outside to walk the dog, and that's when I noticed that there was a hole in the side of the boat club, and I went to check it out.
I went to check it out. What did you do specifically?
I walked over there, and I noticed it was a pretty bad scene, so I got out my cell phone and I recorded it to get evidence for whatever the police needed. I know it's important to have those first moments. I didn't realize what I was getting into.
So you live directly next door, so you walked down the road that's the parking lot to the boat club?
Walked across my lawn.
Okay. And you entered how did you enter into the boat club?
I walked through the hole that Marshall drove through.
And you recorded this on your cell phone, you said?
I did. I started recording before I went through the hole because I wasn't sure what I was going to see. I didn't know at the time it was Marshall, my neighbor. I thought there were some other kids that drove a car similar to it. I thought maybe it was them. And so I wanted to make sure to get them in case they tried to run away or do something goofy.
Okay. Eventually, did you give that cell phone recording to law enforcement?
I did.
And did you have an opportunity to review that cell phone recording after you recorded it?
Yes, I watched it.
And was it a fair and accurate representation of what you saw in the Swan Boat Club that day?
I believe so.
Okay. Sir, you also have a video system, a surveillance system on your home. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
And how many cameras do you have? Roughly, where are they placed?
I have 4 cameras. They're placed on basically all the corners of the house, so I can get a good view of everything going on the outside of the house.
You have one that faces your driveway,
I do.
and you also have one on the top of the house that faces the Boat Creek Park or the Swan Boat
Swan
parking
Boat
lot.
Club? Yes, I do.
How long have you had this video system?
Probably about 5-6 years.
Okay. You maintain it yourself,
I do.
and it was in good working order on April 20th, 2024.
Yes, it was.
Did you have an opportunity to review those court recordings around the time of the crash?
I did.
And did they record anything related to the crash at the Swan Boat Club?
When you say related to the crash, I saw the vehicle go towards the boat club, and I saw the vehicle. The camera doesn't see it slam into the boat club, but you can definitely tell that something happened from the dust cloud and the debris, and of course the screaming.
Okay. Judge, at this time, people move to admit People's Cumulative Exhibit 1 videos from William Paul Schmidt.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
It is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. People would move to proffer those to the court at this time.
I've received it.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Schmidt, this is your camera that faces your driveway.
Yes.
This is absolutely crazy right here, you guys. Watch this.
Sorry, Judge, just a moment of technical difficulties.
Need the remote for the TV? The record reflect the people are playing Exhibit 1.
No further questions from the people for Mr. Schmidt.
Oh my goodness.
Cross-examination.
No questions, Your Honor.
Will the witness be excused?
From the people, yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, she's claiming seizures, you guys, that her
Proceed to the next
doctor.
witness. The people filed an amended information. Does the defendant waive reading of the complaint?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hang
How
on.
does the defendant plead?
Stand mute to the charges.
Defendant standing mute, plea of not guilty is entered.
Thank you.
Let me call their next witness.
Thank you, Judge.
Standing mute.
Your Honor, we'll call Daniel Reardon.
Yeah, so she's claiming she has seizures, and that's what caused her to crash. But everybody that lives over there knows that's how she was. And like Elizabeth said, she was known to that Swan Boat Club of being an alcoholic, stumbling around.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Please state your name and spell your name for the record.
Daniel Reardon. Want first name spelled too? Okay. DANIELRIORDAN.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Mr. Reardon. Are you familiar with the Swan Boat Club?
Yes, sir.
How are you familiar with it?
I've been a member there for maybe 20 years.
Are you involved in any other capacity with the boat club?
I'm a two-time, I'm a past Commodore and I'm currently the Commodore.
What does the Commodore at a boat club do?
Well, I mean, just oversees everything, you know, gives direction to, well, works with the board basically and works with the vice, the rear, like I said, the board and takes care of anything question, you know, if someone's got a question, they have something that's, you know, a problem or something like that, that's it.
Is this an elected position?
Yes.
And were you brought to the boat club on April 20th of 2024?
Yes.
And why were you brought on that day?
I got a page from the rear Commodore saying 911 get back to the boat club.
Do you know about what time you arrived to the boat club?
It's probably about 3:15, 3:20.
And where is the Swan Boat Club located?
6332 Branchall Road, Newport.
That's in the county of Monroe.
Yes.
Was there some event at the boat club on April 20th?
There was a dock party in the morning and a birthday party in the afternoon
Where was the birthday party located?
in our pavilion.
And that is separate from the boat club, or is that attached to the boat club?
It's attached to like a breezeway or garage area.
Okay. Does the boat club have surveillance?
Yes.
And do you have a camera facing the parking lot?
There's a couple cameras facing the
Do you
parking
have one
lot.
that faces the parking lot facing east?
Yes.
And do you have a camera in the pavilion area?
Yes.
And do you have a camera in the breeze that connects the two buildings?
I'm not sure.
Do you know how the system works? Is it continuous or does it motion capture?
It's continued. It loops and it stays for like, I think 7 to 14 days.
Is that stored at the boat club in
Yeah.
on a computer or a device?
Yes, up in the office.
Okay. Do you know who has access to the system?
Well, at that time, we had just changed. We never got real good access, but one of the past rear Commodore had access to it and a couple others. But there's only a handful of people that have got access to the office.
Do you have access to it?
Yes.
At some point, did you take law enforcement to obtain or to view the videos?
We did, but I had to contact the past rear Commodore to gain access to it.
Why is that?
Because at that time, he knew how to hook it back. You got to unplug one computer and plug in another computer in order to look at it on a video screen.
I see. But you were able to display it for law enforcement.
Yes.
And these recordings, they're made every day, regardless of what's going on. You didn't do this specifically for today.
No, they're every day.
To your knowledge, the date and time stamp on the video, are they accurate?
Yes.
And how did law enforcement receive a copy of the videos?
Well, we informed them that we had a video, and they asked if they could take a copy, and they came back and took a copy of it.
Judge, we would move to admit People's Proposed Exhibit 2.
Any objection? Your Honor, if we could have it played and then see if there's an objection, we can move for admission is what I would propose. I will reserve my rule.
Okay.
This is the last hearing they're going to have before the trial starts on March 3rd, you guys. So that's kind of why I wanted to be here, but it may be that we're not going to get to see it. But if they're going to show it, I'd like to be here for it. So I'll keep looking while we watch this. I don't know if you guys have seen all of this.
this the breezeway you were referring to?
Yes.
Judge, we'll renew our request to admit Exhibit 2.
No objection, Your Honor.
It is admitted.
No further questions from this witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
No questions.
Is the witness excused?
The people excuse the witness, Judge.
Defense as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're free to go, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
People may call their next witness.
Judge, people call Sergeant Mike Omia.
You solemnly swear, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
You may be seated. Sergeant, please state your name and spell your name for the record.
My name's Sergeant Michael Bomia, Michaelbomia.
Mr. Lorraine.
Thank you, Judge. Morning, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what do you do for a living?
I'm a police officer with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been so employed?
19 years.
Has your entire law enforcement career been with the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, sir.
And you hold all the training, education, and certifications necessary to be a peace officer in the state of Michigan?
Yes, I do, sir.
Were those up to date on April 20th of this year?
Yes, sir.
Were you working that day?
Yes, sir.
What was your assignment?
I am the shift supervisor for the Days B platoon.
And what does a shift supervisor do on the day shift at the Sheriff's Office?
I supervise the and coordinate the road patrol activities for the deputies that are working.
Okay. What's road patrol for the record?
They would be the officers that respond to calls for service in the police cars and for people that need help or answer 911 calls.
Okay. Are you mobile when you do this work, or are you usually at the Sheriff's Office?
I try to be as mobile as much as I can during my shift, sir.
Okay. Very good. Did you receive a dispatch that brought us here today
Yes, sir.
on April 20th?
Yes, sir.
What was that dispatch?
Mineral County Central Dispatch broadcasted a serious injury crash that occurred at the Swan Boat Club. They relayed that there was a car that had crashed into a building, trapping people underneath and injuring several others.
What did you do in response to this dispatch?
I was at North Dixie Highway and Interstate 75, and I responded with my license sirens.
Did you eventually arrive at the boat club?
Yes, sir.
What did you observe when you arrived?
It was a very a chaotic scene. There was a very large hole in the side of the building. There was multiple people laying on the ground, asking for assistance in different states of injury.
Were you the first law enforcement officer to respond?
Yes, sir.
And were any other first responders there when you arrived?
There was several fire departments that firefighters had shown up just as I arrived.
You indicated there was a hole in the building. Did you enter the building?
Yes, sir.
And what did you see inside the building?
I found I believe it was a dark blue Ford Edge crashed into the building. There was several other victims lying on the floor. And then there was also a set of folding chairs with several people sitting on those folding chairs.
Okay. At some point, was the defendant in this case pointed out to you?
Yes, sir. I asked witnesses if the driver was here, and they pointed out to the suspect.
And did she identify herself to you?
Yes, sir.
Do you see the person who identified herself to you as the driver of the vehicle?
Yes,
today?
sir. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we'll stipulate to the defendant identification.
Stipulation is entered.
Thank you, Judge. What did you do with the driver of the vehicle at that time?
I began to escort her out of the building, and I asked her if she was okay, if she was injured during the crash, and how she ended up crashing into the building.
Okay. And what did you do with her at that time?
I secured her in the back seat of my patrol car.
Okay. What did you do after that?
I started to help out the first responders as much as I could, looking for other victims, which we found several in the area that was then in front of where the vehicle crashed in a separate room.
Okay. Sergeant, were you assigned a body-worn camera at this time?
Yes, sir.
And was that functional and operational at the time of this incident?
Yes, sir.
Have you had an opportunity to review the footage from that camera?
I did, sir.
And is it a fair and accurate representation of what you saw that day?
Yes, sir.
Judge, at this time, people would move to admit portions of Sergeant Pomia's body-worn camera.
Any objection?
Your Honor, again, I would just ask that it be played prior to being admitted.
Or is there another request?
Okay. At this time, Judge, we'll move to proffer it to the court.
You may proceed.
1517 Central Pursuit.
firefighters are coming right over here. They're on their way. Which one? Can you come with me just for a second? Are you driving? Can you come with me just for a second? Okay. This one out here? Where you going? This one's my car. You got a hug? Yes. What happened? I passed out. Okay. Have you been feeling ill or anything like that? Yes. What kind of medical conditions do you have? Seizures. Seizures? Okay. Were you here for the party? No. What were you out here at the boat club for? Are you here? Yeah, I was just coming down here. Okay. Oh my God, this is terrible. So you take medications for seizure, you said? Have you been drinking it all today? A little bit, yes. Okay. When's the last time you had something to drink? Probably like a half hour ago. Half hour ago? What do you drink? Wine. Wine? Okay. What's your name, hon? Marshalla. Marshalla what? Chettiston. Chettiston, okay. You don't have any weapons on you, do you? No. All right, I'm just going to leave you back here just for a little bit, okay? Okay. All right. Do you need to see any medical attention right now? No. Okay. I'm going to roll down this window over here. Just get you some air, okay? Okay. I just want to separate her from everything that's going on. Alright, so they're on you. We got another on your smart? No. I got another in my trunk, but. Where's your trunk at?
We've already stipulated in the court center an order regarding medical records of certain individuals that were hurt in the crash. I would stipulate to this being entered for preliminary examination purposes, but we've already stipulated these individuals being hurt. So as to the purpose of playing it, I don't know the relevance.
Response from the people.
Judge, we need to ID the victims.
I would stipulate to that. I've already done it with the medical records.
Judge, it also illustrates the scene at the time, the chaotic nature of it. I believe it's quite relevant to this matter.
As to the scene, I'll stipulate that it looked the way it did and what happened, and my client's vehicle entered the building. Anything else would be just completely irrelevant. I'm stipulating that these people were injured as a result of her motor vehicle crashing through the building.
Are you stipulating also the admissibility of it?
Admissibility of this video?
Correct.
I stipulate to the admissibility for preliminary examination purposes.
That's fine.
So to bind over, I have to find that there has been a serious impairment of bodily function to each victim. Are you stipulating as to that?
Well, Your Honor, that's where the order that's been entered by stipulation of the parties that the medical records are going to be entered. It's my understanding through the prosecutor that may have been sent over to the court maybe a day prior so the court could have time to digest it and review it. So in effect, if the medical records show a serious impairment of an important body function, then it does, and we would not object for preliminary examination purposes. But unless the video is showing something of my client making a comment or something like that, it's really irrelevant, Your Honor.
It does, Your Honor. We've shown that she says she was driving. She says she was drinking. She says that she takes medication. All are elements of the charges today, Judge.
Your Honor, I understand, but to go further in this video, there's really no need. It's not relevant. They already got in what took place, and I'll stipulate that that's accurate.
A question before the court is the extent of the victim's injuries. Whether a serious impairment of bodily function occurred to each one of the victims named in the complaint. I have reviewed the medical records, but I do believe the video evidence from the scene is relevant as to that. Your MRE 403. Objection is overruled.
Okay, I respect that, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. I don't know that I'm going to be able to find the exact spot, so if it's okay with the court, can I restart? I can attempt if you'd like.
Could I give you a few minutes to get to the point? I'll take it 5 minutes.
Thank you, Judge.
All rise. District Court's in recess. You may be seated.
As long as I look here, I just can't go full screen. That's an issue.
17 Central Woods today, okay? Proof my pants off. So my truck's right there, in my bulletproof.
I think this is approximately it. I cannot, with the way PowerPoint works, I can't pause in the middle of it, so I'm just going to play it like this. I'm ready. Thanks.
All rise. First District Court is back in session.
You may be seated. We are back on the record. You may proceed, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Judge. I believe we found the approximate location that we stopped.
Did I just rent? No. I guess it is in my trunk, but where's your trunk at? So there it is. So my truck's right there, in my bulletproof, my tack vest, the scissors. I didn't cut the pants off, so right there. It's in the back seat. Yeah. You guys have scissors?
What's the name? Jaden? Is this Jaden? Standing there. Jaden? Jaden. What, do you know where Jaden's at? Yeah, he's That's why it's like What's your first name? Edward. Edward. My name is Nick and this is Steve. We're here for you. You want to leave someone for me? Head for her. Your back hurt. Your front leg. I know, buddy. Your mom. Everybody do this? No. I'm just gonna write down his name and stuff. So I guess you guys have it, right? How much can you do this on? This is a new one. Edward. It's Edward, right? E-W-A-R-E. What's your middle name, Edward? Thomas. And then last name Smothers. S-M-O. I don't have to use that. What's your last name again, Ed? Smothers. S-M-O-U-T-H-E. Yeah. What's your date of birth?
And that's the end of the portions we're proffering, Judge.
Any additional objections to its admission from the defense?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
It is admitted.
And Sergeant, just one more question. You had an opportunity to review this video. You reviewed the timestamp on it,
Yes, sir.
and is that accurate with when you were at the scene?
Yes, sir.
All right, no further questions for the Sergeant, Judge.
Cross-examination.
No questions, Your Honor.
May the witness be excused.
From the people, yes, thank you, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're free to go, thank you. People may call their next witness.
Your Honor, people call Deputy Madison Fleck.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. You may be seated. Deputy, please state your name and spell your name.
Madison Fleck, M-A-D-I-S-O-N-F-L-E-C-K.
You may proceed.
Good morning, Deputy. How are you employed?
I'm employed through the Monroe County Sheriff's Office as a deputy sheriff,
How long have you been in that position?
approximately 4.5 years.
Were you in any other law enforcement position prior to that?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you certified to be a peace officer in the state of Michigan?
Yes, sir.
And you were on April 20th?
Yes, sir.
You were working on April 20th as a deputy?
Yes, sir.
And did something bring you to the Swan Boat Club?
A call came in through Monroe County Central Dispatch, and I responded to it.
And do you know approximately what time you arrived at the scene?
No, sir.
Can you describe the scene when you arrived?
When I arrived, there was multiple EMS and fire personnel already on scene, as well as my supervisor, Sergeant Bonilla, and Deputy Schmidt. And then when I responded into the venue, there was chaos. There were still people being treated and pulled out of the building.
Did you meet any individuals that had been injured on that date?
Yes, when I first walked in, I responded to Denise Roberts, as well as Patricia Raths. And then I also observed Leah Sith and Diane Medina.
Are you issued a body worn camera?
Yes, sir.
Were you wearing it on that day?
Yes, sir.
Was it in good working order to your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Did you have an opportunity to review that video?
Yes.
And is that a fair and accurate representation of what you witnessed?
Yes.
Judge, I would move to admit what is proposed Exhibit 4, a compilation of the deputy's body worn camera.
Your Honor, I'll object to this time pending seeing the her identifying the video. I will reserve ruling now. Thank you.
Exhibit 4?
This is Exhibit 4, Your Honor, Judge.
Well, even if we don't get the feed today, at least we get to watch this and get, because our channel, we only watch pieces of the hearing and pieces of the video. We have not seen this full thing.
On the floor. You guys are talking about. I just got one back there. I don't even know. She's 18. Yeah, she's 11.
Is there anybody? I got this things information. I'm gonna start working on getting their information and other person while I was No, just try to stay out of the way of everybody and help where you can.
The most critical. I've attended to all three of them.
She's allergic to amoxicillin. You're welcome. Are you related?
I'm right behind you. I'm assuming she was operating.
We start doing this. You need help with stuff? I think they want to leave her for right now just because.
I don't know if it's attached anywhere.
It should. Let me put, that's not heavy enough. Sorry. Okay. All right. Ma'am, I want to get, were you in here when it happened? No, did you witness it at all? Okay.
Her name's Diane. Medina.
Medina?
No.
Does it hurt pretty much everywhere right now?
My lower back down.
Okay. Just try to take some deep breaths, okay? As deep breaths as you can. Yep. As deep breaths as you can. Well, they're getting this high, and then you're coming up next. Okay. 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 They got to get her on them. These they were right in front, so we'll keep her right there. Guys, need any help back there? Good. Okay. Sir, you been cutting your station yet?
No.
Will you witness the crash?
I was in the bar. I just heard it and came in to try to help out. So, but I didn't see when it actually happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just start getting
That's the end of the video, Judge.
Your Honor, no objection to it being made.
It is admitted.
Deputy, to your knowledge, is the date and timestamp correct on this video?
Yes.
No further questions, Judge.
Cross-examination.
I have no question.
May the witness be excused.
People excuse the witness, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
They're free to go. Thanks. People may call their next witness.
Your Honor, people call Deputy Schmidt.
Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
You may be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Deputy, please state your name and spell your name for the record.
Deputy Stephen Schmidt, STEVENSCHMIDT.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Deputy. How are you employed?
By the Monroe County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been in that position?
4 years.
Do you have any prior law enforcement experience?
I do.
And can you tell me what that is, please?
I started my career with the Riverview Police Department, and then I also worked with the Dundee Police Department.
In all, how long have you been employed in law enforcement?
7 years.
Are you certified to be a law enforcement officer in the state of Michigan?
I am.
And you were so on April 20th?
I was.
You were employed as a deputy and working on April 20th?
Yes.
Do you have training investigating operating while intoxicated?
I do.
Can you tell me what training you have?
I have SFSD, Standard Field Sobriety Test training through Wayne County Regional Police Academy. I also have refresher training, as well as advanced roadside impaired driving enforcement training.
Deputy, do you have any idea approximately how many OWI arrests you've been involved in?
Approximately 40 to 50, somewhere in that range. I'm not exactly sure.
Understood. Can you please describe the scene when you first arrived?
So when I first arrived on scene, I got out of my patrol vehicle and it was chaotic. There were people running around screaming. There's injured people everywhere. I saw a hole in the side of the boat club. As I started to walk towards it, I noticed a small child laying on the ground. The child did not appear to be breathing or moving. At that time, I felt that there was most likely more people inside that might need medical attention. So I entered the breezeway area of the boat club. That's where I met with Conservation Officer Nick Ingersoll. He asked me for some help. There was a young boy in there that had an injury that needed attending to.
At some point, did you interact with the defendant?
I did.
And did you administer field sobriety tests?
I did.
What test did you administer?
The first test I administered was a horizontal gaze nystagmus.
And what were the results of that test?
I was not able to complete that test.
Why is that?
The defendant could not focus on my finger, which was the stimulus for the test, so I wasn't able to complete it after multiple times.
Is that a sign of intoxication?
It could be.
What other test did you administer?
I administered counting backwards from a number to another number of my choosing.
What were the results of that test?
She was not able to complete that test. She miscounted.
Did you do any other tests on the defendant?
Objection, Your Honor. How did you miscount?
Who could describe how she miscounted?
The counting started from 100 and went down to 88. She started with 100 and then counted down to 90, and then she had some miscountings in there. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear him. He wasn't sure. Is that what you said,
He
sir?
said that there were miscountings.
Yeah, there were miscountings after the number 90.
And did you say what they were?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Thank you. Did you administer any other sobriety tests?
I did.
What else did you administer?
The alphabet. I asked her to recite the alphabet A through Z without singing.
And what was the result of that?
She was able to pass that test and complete that test.
The horizontal gaze nystagmus, is that one of the standardized tests?
It is.
How many standardized field sobriety tests are there?
3.
Did you administer any of the other standardized field sobriety tests?
I did not.
Why is that, Deputy?
Due to her physical condition at the time, when I was able to speak with her and get her out of the back of the vehicle, she advised me that she had neuropathy in her hands and feet. The other 2 tests that are standardized are physical tests, the walk and turn and the one leg stand. I felt that by putting her through those tests, it could put herself in harm by potentially falling or tripping, and so that's why I chose not to do those tests.
Understood. Did you notice any other signs of intoxication?
I did.
What did you notice?
The odor of intoxicants coming off her person, her inability to maintain balance, and then also her eyes were bloodshot, watery.
And at some point, did you place her under arrest?
I did.
What did you arrest her for?
Suspicion of operating while intoxicated.
Deputy, you keep your voice up, please.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
And at some point, did you have an interaction with another deputy named Karina?
I did.
And was this after the field sobriety tests?
Yes.
What's Deputy Karina's role in this matter?
Deputy Karina is a DRE, a drug recognition expert.
What is a drug recognition expert?
He's able to essentially, it's a more advanced SFST training where he's able to put a driver into different types of tests to determine exactly what kind of substance they're under the influence of.
And is it fair to say at this point, Deputy Karina took over the
He did it.
investigation?
He did at that point. Yes,
Okay. What does Deputy Karina, were you present during that time?
I was.
And what does Deputy Karina do with the defendant after he takes over?
He starts speaking to her about different.
Objection, Your Honor, as to hearsay.
Response.
That, I'm not asking for what Deputy Karina said. I'm
Okay.
just generally asking, does he administer any other tests or anything that's admissible that we can discuss?
Sustained.
No other sobriety tests.
Okay. Were you issued a body worn camera at the time?
I was.
And were you wearing it on that day and time?
I was.
And were you present during the interview between Deputy Karina and the defendant?
Yes,
Have you reviewed Deputy Karina's body cam video?
I have.
And is it a fair and accurate representation of what you witnessed?
Yes,
And prior, you had body cam on as well, correct?
I did.
Did that camera capture the conversation as well?
It did.
Is there some reason we can't show that today?
I'm not sure.
Was your volume on, Deputy?
Oh, it was not.
So it's muted.
Correct.
You cannot hear anything that's said.
Correct.
Okay. Judge, we're going to move to admit Exhibit 5, which is a brief, torn down version of Deputy Karina's body cam video, which shows the interview with the defendant.
Objection, Your Honor, again, hearsay. This person, deputy, is not here for whatever reason to authenticate that that's true and accurate at that date and time.
Judge, this deputy just authenticated it. He was present during the interview. His body cam was on as well. However, it was muted, but he can testify to what was said. So he can, it is not hearsay as he can be cross-examined. He was present during the interview.
Well, if there's any testimony, voice of Deputy Farina, that's hearsay. He's not here to verify that that's him speaking and what he said and date and time.
Are you objecting on the confrontation clause or hearsay?
It would be hearsay and confrontation. Both.
Judge, Deputy Karina's statements are not offered to prove the matter asserted. So it's not hearsay.
Well, it is. Then why are they showing it?
Because we want the defendant's statements, Judge, which are offered to prove the matter asserted.
Your Honor, confrontation too.
All right. The Michigan Supreme Court has held the confrontation clause does not apply to preliminary examinations. So it's denied on those grounds. As to hearsay, I'll reserve on that. I'd like to see the video.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Judge, we're going to proffer what is people's proposed Exhibit 5 at this time. Actually, one quick question, Deputy. To your knowledge, prior to this interview, was the defendant Mirandized?
She was.
And by that, she was read her Miranda rights?
Correct.
Your Honor, who read the rights? When were they read?
Is that an objection, Judge?
Yes, I object. Because if there's any statements or anything, I'd like to know that she was read her rights.
Judge, we have provided the defense counsel all of these videos. He's had an opportunity to review them. We for the brevity of this hearing, we have cut down countless hours. So if the defense counsel wants to argue that we shouldn't be showing all of this video, but then he says we should show more. So we can't have it both ways, Judge. Either we're going to be here for 4 days watching video, or we have to cut it down. Also, there are some inadmissible things, so we have to remove those as well. So for brevity, we did, and we skipped over the Miranda right portion. He's been provided this. He can review it. He has all of these videos.
Are you objecting on the rule of completeness? Or?
She wasn't given, or I don't see any Miranda rights being given. If they were given, the person would have to come forward and say that she was Mirandized. And so we don't have a person here. I don't know. They have the burden of proof to prepare for today. Just because I'm given records or DVDs doesn't mean that I fold and I'm as we go sit outside. So, Your Honor, just because they give me things doesn't mean that I stipulate to everything. So, Your Honor, that's their case to prepare. And I don't have any knowledge of the Miranda rights of a person today that's going to be testifying. Thank you.
Do you wish to voir dire the witness as to the Miranda statement?
Are you talking to me, Judge? Yes. He has the burden of proof, but okay. Officer, did you read the Miranda rights, commonly referred to as Miranda rights, advice of rights to my client?
I did not.
And did you ever have my client sign or initial each Miranda's right?
I did not.
We rest, Your Honor.
Deputy, were you present when the Miranda rights were read to defendant?
I was.
And were the complete rights read?
They were.
And who read those rights?
Deputy Karina.
All right. Judge, I would further state that no motion to suppress has been brought. This is not the time or place to argue this. He could have brought a motion prior to this. Nothing has been, this is the first we've heard of it, Judge.
Your Honor, I'm supposed to be Nostradamus and figure out what they're going to do in the future. They have the burden of proof. Don't put it on me because they may not be prepared. So they're the ones that are going to bring in statements. You have the officers, and you don't have to worry about hearsay. They have the burden of proof. I don't. I'm sort of in their sandbox today. So, Your Honor, please don't allow them to put the burden on me or my client because they may not be prepared for today. Thank you.
And your objection to the statement is?
It's hearsay. He's saying he heard somebody say some rights. Well, I'd like to be able to see that. And if the evidence is no longer around, then it's to be used against them. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, what exception or exemption to the hearsay rule do you believe the testimony falls on?
Your Honor, it's not hearsay. He's telling you what he saw, what he witnessed. And it's not offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, Judge. That we aren't burdened by proving that these are admissible. He can object to the admissibility of them. He can file motions to suppress. None of that has happened. He's had this evidence for months, Judge. We've been prepared for this case for months.
Now, if I get this right, listening respectfully, Judge, to the logic of the prosecutor, I'm supposed to know ahead of time of what he's going to put in court. And then I'm supposed to file a written motion of what he may put in court. I can't get in his brain. I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea what evidence that he's moving forward. And he knows.
Okay, we have to take a moment to stop. Thoughts on this defense attorney? I know you all have some strong ones. Go ahead, put it in the chat. What do you guys think about him?
But you got to have the officer here or the person here that allegedly read any rights or had them signed off. That's a critical portion of this case. And it's a critical proceeding, part of the proceeding of a preliminary examination of waiving your rights. I'm sure that if it doesn't have anything to do with the case or it's that material, then why are we talking about it today? They're fighting strenuously to bring something in. Is it part of the elements? I think that's material. So, Your Honor, respectfully, under the hearsay rule, I can't cross-examine. It's based on a third party talking about what he heard. Thank you.
Question of suppression isn't before the court. The only question is, was this a hearsay statement? It is an out-of-court statement by a declarant. Does not appear to fall under an exception or exemption. Objection is the same.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Do you remember what happens when you?
Billy, I pulled into
Your
the
Honor,
parking lot.
I'm
And
objecting. I'm objecting and he's still playing.
You objected as to the testimony of the witness, correct?
Of my client. I objected to my client and the witness, both. They haven't shown any waiver. She certainly is detained. She couldn't walk home from there. And they had an absolute duty to inform her of her Miranda rights. So I object to that because nobody's talked about the Miranda rights because they didn't bring the person in that allegedly read the rights to her.
So what is the legal basis for your objection as to playing the video?
Because it's a statement, any statements that can be used against my client. She didn't sign off on her Miranda rights prior to giving a statement and prior to being questioned. She's clearly being questioned. And she's been in custody. She couldn't walk out of there.
Response from the people.
You guys, I want to remind you, I know it's a different state, but this same thing came up with Sarah Boone's trial. When they came on scene and they were trying to figure out what was going on, of course they're not going to read her Miranda rights. They're just trying to figure out what's going on, what happened. They're trying to see if she needs medical assistance. So I hope, just as in Sarah's case, that the judge is going to end up saying, yeah, that doesn't matter. But that's, again, this is all what we're going to find out from this hearing that they were having today is, are they going to allow what she said to the cops early on in court? I think it should be. I think they should play this video. She was so out of it. But do you guys remember anything about what they did with Sarah's ruling on this? Because from what I remember, the judge was like, no, they didn't need to at that point because it wasn't at the point where they had detained her. She wasn't being held against her will. So no, Miranda was not required at that time.
Your Honor, it appears he's arguing a motion to suppress and a hearsay argument at the same time, Judge. Her statements are clearly admissible. So if it's a motion to suppress, that should have been brought prior to today. So if the court wants, we can play the whole video. We have it on video where she's read her Miranda rights. It'll take a minute, Judge, but we can gather that.
And as to hearsay, this is a statement by party opponent is admissible. Hearsay objection is overruled. He does have the right under the rule of completeness to have the whole video played.
May we approach, Judge?
Yes.
Asserting the completion rule, are they willing to allow the redacted and shortened video be played?
I mean, we can, based upon the court's ruling for preliminary examination purposes only, a shorter version we would stipulate to.
Thank you, Judge.
Do you need some time to cue
I think we were at the very beginning, so I'll just start over if it's okay with the court. It's a brief video, 2 or 3 minutes long.
Okay, you may proceed.
Judge, we are properly proposing Exhibit 5 at this point, Judge.
Exhibit 5 is playing.
Okay. Going around here?
No, not really. I pulled into the parking lot and I thought I was driving up to the boat club and evidently I was driving right to the pavilion.
Which direction did you drive from?
I live right down the street.
Okay, so you were coming from that way?
Yes.
This way? When you got to the parking lot, what happened?
I don't remember.
You remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you think there's a reason you don't remember? Did something happen or?
You know what? I have these seizures and
Okay. Do you have anything where it says like maybe that, does your doctor permit you to drive and everything?
I'm cleared to drive now and I don't have my purse with me, but I do have a card in my purse.
Okay. When's the last time you had a seizure that you know of?
Okay, I'm sorry I have to interrupt, but I just wanted to remind everybody, if you had forgotten, the doctor that she used was recently arrested for running a pill mill. So that's the kind of thing that she was working with as far as medications.
March.
In March? Yeah. Okay. So in March is the last time you remember that you had a seizure.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get this. Were you hospitalized for it?
Yes.
You were?
Yes.
Okay. Was that did you have like at home or something?
No, I was in Monroe for 4 days and Toledo for 6 days.
I'm sorry, did you have your seizure while you were at home? Or did you have it?
I had it at home, and then I did have one when I was in the hospital.
When you're in the hospital? Okay. And March is going to be the last time you had that seizure?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Do you think, is your normal behavior when you have a seizure, is it have lapses of memory? Do you,
yes.
Like that? Okay. So once you got to the parking lot, you don't remember anything?
I don't.
Okay. Okay. I guess all the questions I have for you now. Deputy Schmidt's gonna take me over from here, okay? So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being like you're stone cold sober, you can drive perfectly, 10 being you're passed out drunk, where do you think you're at right now?
7.
A 7? Okay. Do you think you're okay to drive?
I wouldn't want to drive.
You wouldn't let you drive?
No.
Okay. Okay, just give me 1 second, okay? Sorry, my phone's ringing. I think it's gonna be my boss.
Okay.
I apologize.
Judge, that's the end of the video. Really renew our request to move to admit Exhibit 5, Judge.
Any additional objections from the defense?
No additional objections.
It is admitted.
Deputy, who transported the defendant to the hospital?
I did.
And why were you transporting her to the hospital?
to perform the blood draw for the OWI investigation.
And at some point during the transport or your time with her, did she tell you why she was going to the boat club that day?
Yes.
What did she say?
She advised me that she was on her way to attend a birthday party at the boat club.
What hospital did you transport her to?
ProMedica Monroe Hospital.
And did that hospital draw her blood?
They did.
Were you present during the blood draw?
I was.
What happened to the blood after it was drawn?
It was placed back into the blood kit by me along with the corresponding paperwork.
Is that a kit that gets sealed away?
It is.
And that kit, you sealed it in the usual manner?
Yes.
And it was transported where?
Back to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office.
And ultimately, where did it end up?
Evidence.
Was it transported at some point to the crime lab?
It was.
Lansing? Okay. Did you receive the results back?
I did.
Judge, I'm going to show the exhibit. What is the People's Proposed Exhibit 6?
Objection, Your Honor, there's a foundation.
Judge, this comes in under MCL 766.11B without foundation. I'm just being nice here, Judge.
Response?
I would like to cross-examine the deputy.
He'll have that opportunity, Judge.
Under the Code of Criminal Procedure, it's a self-authenticating document for the purposes of preliminary examination. No foundation is required. It is admitted.
Thank you, Judge.
May I see it prior to the end?
I'll hand you Exhibit 6. Can you tell me if you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is it?
It is the laboratory report from the crime lab.
And can you please read the results of the report, please?
So item number 1 that was tested was her blood, which came back to a 0.18 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood.
Deputy, do you know the legal limit for operating while intoxicated in the state of Michigan?
0.08.
And do you know the legal limit for operating with a high blood alcohol content in the state of Michigan?
0.17.
Thank you, Judge. Or thank you, Deputy. I'll take that from you. Did you receive another lab report, Deputy?
I did.
I'm going to show you what is marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 7, Judge. We will also be requesting this be admitted under 76.11B.
Your Honor, same objection as previously. I'd like to take a look at the exhibit.
Thanks, first.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Deputy.
Objection is overruled being a self-authenticating document.
Thank you, Judge. It is admitted.
It is admitted.
Thank you. Judge, Deputy, this is Exhibit 7. Did you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
It is the supplemental lab report that came back from the crime lab.
And can you please tell me what the results of that report are?
The crime lab detected gabapentin in her system.
Does it provide a level or it just indicates gabapentin?
It says 1.3 UG per milliliter. I don't know what UG stands for.
Understood. Thank you. I don't have any further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. In the tape, is that you talking on the videotape that's played earlier?
This one right here, sir?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Who's that talking?
That's Deputy Cody Carina.
Okay. And he's not here today, right?
Correct.
Okay. And my client was asked, what number do you feel you are today? And she responded per video, number 7, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The video never says that under the influence of intoxicants, what number are you? Do you agree with that?
Correct.
Okay. And do you agree that it could be interpreted you just went through a wall and you wouldn't be able to, you don't feel like driving a car?
Possibly.
The objection, Your Honor, I think he's mischaracterizing the evidence. The deputy said on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being you're completely sober, 10 being you're passed out drunk.
No, Your Honor, he's trying to testify.
Judge, we can watch the video again. That's what was stated.
Your Honor, you heard what the deputy sheriff said.
What is your response to the objection?
The objection is the officer testified. He speaks for himself. He was there, and it wasn't said about the alcohol. Whatever the court heard on a video, the court heard. I'm not going to object to that.
Overruled, I'll give it the weight that it deserves.
Thank you, Judge. And then the question of my client is, do you feel that you should be able to drive or not drive? And my client answered no. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if she said no based upon her just getting through driving through a wall?
Objection, Your Honor. Is calling for asking the witness to speculate to what the defendant knew or didn't know.
Response.
Well, he was there, Your Honor. He would be able to answer or not answer.
Sustained and speculative.
Okay. Officer, when asked of my client of does she feel she could drive the car, drive the vehicle, whatever may have been said or asked, and she said no, was there any mention of alcohol in that sentence or that question about being able to drive? Can you drive?
No, but I believe Deputy Karina's scale that he gave mentions alcohol in it.
Okay. Now, earlier you said no, but now you're saying yes.
What do you mean?
About alcohol being mentioned. Earlier you said no, it wasn't mentioned.
Well, when he asked her about the level of 1 to 10, whatever, stone cold, sober, or passed out drunk.
All right. And as to operating the vehicle, whether to operate it or not, was the word alcohol used in that sentence or that phrase?
By the defendant?
No.
Oh.
By the officer.
Then no.
And did you go to the hospital of when the blood sample was taken of my client?
I did.
Okay. And when the blood sample was taken, do you use a state police kit?
I do.
Okay. And the state police kit, did it have 2 vials in it?
It did.
Okay. And you saw somebody draw blood?
Correct.
Okay. Is that person here today?
No.
And when then you opened up the vials, the 2 glass vials, am I correct? There's a seal on them?
I didn't open the glass vials.
Who opened the glass vials?
I don't know if they were opened. I don't remember that.
Do you remember if the vials were sealed?
Were they sealed?
Yes. There's a package.
Right.
That there's this kit, they call it.
Right.
And you opened it?
Correct.
You were in charge,
correct? Correct.
Okay. And when you opened it, did it have 2 vials in it?
It did.
Okay. And then you took the vials out, correct?
Correct.
And those vials are to hold blood, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then what did you do with the vials? Was there any seal on them? Or there wasn't a seal?
I placed them back in the cardboard that's in the kit, and then I folded up the box, and there's a shipping seal that comes inside.
Let me back up.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe I wasn't clear. It was prior to the blood being drawn.
Okay.
Did you unseal them?
Like the actual tubes itself?
Yes, the vials.
No.
Yes. You never unsealed them?
I don't unseal the tubes.
Okay. Who unseals the tube, if anybody?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they're ever unsealed.
Okay. How does the blood get in the tube if it's not opened and unsealed?
I am assuming through the IV that they draw.
An IV?
Or when they put the needle in her arm and.
You were there watching this, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
What did you specifically see regarding these files after you opened them?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do with them?
Objection, Your Honor. He's already testified he didn't open the vials, that they were
No.
sealed.
Your Honor, I'd like to be able to examine him. It's very short. It's only a few questions.
Overruled. Give you a little leeway.
Thank you, Your Honor. Once you opened up this state police kit,
right,
what did you do with the vials?
Give them to the phlebotomist.
Okay. You never unsealed them, correct?
No.
And you don't know if there was a seal on them, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And how many times have you done this in cases?
A lot.
Like, what would that be? Would you say per month or per year? Just, I won't hold you to it. Just
Per year, I would say approximately. It just depends. It could be a couple to upwards of 8, 9, 10. I'm not sure exactly.
And how many years have you been doing this?
7 years.
And did you look at the these glass tubes, these files, prior to giving them to somebody?
I did.
Okay. And you don't know if there was a seal or not, correct?
I don't recall. There's something on the top. I don't know what it is. I'm
You
not.
said there is something on the top,
There's a white piece on the top. I don't know what it is.
but you never removed anything prior to giving it to
I never have. No.
And was the tubes, when you look at them,
Yes.
and you pull them out, did you make sure there was nothing in them?
Well, there's like a white like powder in them. I think it has something to do with reacting with the blood potentially.
What did you do when the person that drew this blood gave you the tubes back?
Put them back in the seal. Put them back in the container.
Did you do anything with the tubes, like shake them or not shake them, or just put them in the box? What did you do?
Just put them back in the cardboard that it comes in.
Okay.
And then there's a sticker that goes on it.
And did you have custody of this, or did somebody have custody after you brought it back to the station, I presume?
It went into an evidence locker.
Okay. Is the evidence locker refrigerated?
No, it's not.
Do you know any of the rules or regulations concerning refrigeration of blood samples and fermentation that may take place that if it's not refrigerated?
Not off the top of my head, no.
I don't have any more questions.
Can you redirect them to people?
No, Judge.
May the witness be excused.
People excuse this witness, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor. People may call their next witness.
Judge, people call Detective Sergeant Jeffrey Hooper.
Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, you guys. We have not gotten an update. I have a feeling that probably this might be a longer hearing today because of everything that they're trying to prove, and probably because of her attorney and his long-windedness. So we'll pick this back up. Maybe tomorrow would be a good time to pick up and do like an update on what happened from today. Tonight, we're going to do a live stream at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Courtney Clenny's parents' arrest. I've got the body cam and everything that we're going to watch and kind of go through that. So I hope you guys can join me back here for that. And then I don't think we have anything scheduled for tomorrow. So tomorrow would probably be a better morning for me to give you guys an update on what happened here. Okay, so I don't want to make you keep waiting. And I know some of you guys have already seen this footage, but whatever we have not shown of this portion of the hearing from this hearing that we were just watching, I'm going to go back through and make sure we do get this back up on the channel so we can watch it at another date, because she is going into trial on the 3rd, which is right around the corner. So if they allow cameras in the courtroom, I'm thinking they do because Court TV's been on this one. But if they do, I don't think there's anything else going on our schedule that we can't stream her trial. So that would be cool, huh? If jury selection starts on the 3rd of March. So cross your fingers. And you guys have a great day. And hopefully you'll join me back here tonight at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a blessed day, everyone.